Hello guys, welcome to another country's video, and I did some quick changes, as you can see, to the border because I felt very uncomfortable with the Russian country expanding all the way to the Mesopotamian ones. And I also introduced this massive road. I'll refer to as the New Silk Road, as the Silk Road. Quickly, it goes all the way to over here. So more accurately, you can come all the way to the very top of the known world in this fort, and then go down, down, and go all the way to the other side of the world, like that. So yeah, and to clarify something real quick, okay, so you see these little dark green areas? You see? Those are extraction posts, okay? Those are extraction posts, and the light green ones are fortifications, okay? So yeah, that's how you can tell the difference. So anyway, back to it. Now the age of exploration has turned into a close, as no more exploring we will be doing, and instead it's the age of division. So yes, so first things first, what's going to happen is Hungary is going to start going into chaos, as purple team rebels over here want to regain control. And let's go to major cities. As you can see, the main headquarters of the rebels is up here near the north, and there's also many Romanian rebels around Transylvania and the Carpathian Mountains, fighting to join Romania. So the Hungarians have to choose one or the other, and what they choose is to destroy the Romanian ones, because the Romanian ones look incredibly fierce and scary, and they want to at least hold the little autonomy areas, where this lighter brown area is where there's autonomy. They will quickly crush most of the rebels since they're very divided, but then an intervention comes and they start pushing into the purple team controlled area to try and go with the other purple team. So they start pushing along the Croatian coast into parts of Istria, and also parts into southern Hungary. So currently in the Balkans, it's a back and forth between the purple guys and the red, yellow, so the purple team and the Romanian guys, and the Hungarian and red and gold team coalition against the purple team. So they start pushing into here, and pushing, and eventually make a spearhead and capture the capital city over here. And these guys quickly eventually meet up with that spearhead and quickly go up here, and which ends up causing them to be disconnected. So therefore most of them have to become coming through here, and no more votes for them because they have to come through the wilderness in order to supply these guys. They know about it, but they are not sure, but they have not built anything there yet. That's why it's discovered. So yeah, anyway, these guys are able to claim this area and start pushing, and eventually push and successfully capture the whole supply route, and then get rid of the remaining Hungarian areas. And Hungary just wants to get this over with and not go into actual ruins. So Hungary, it proposes this peace deal where the purple team will get this land back, but Hungary will successfully annex the rest of this, and also still give autonomy here, and eventually here they beat the Romanian terrorists. So now, sorry, the rebellion, not terrorists. They're not destroying stuff, they were just revolting in the streets. So yeah. So as you can see, these guys are basically dominating most of Central Europe. But now time to go to the Germans. Now you may be asking me, what the capital is? And I've said the capital. The capital is going to be oh wait, I need to set it to yellow, no wonder why. So it's going to be right over here. Oh, right. It's Oh, it's not matching. Okay, what's it? Its capital is going to be right there. So yeah. So now, now the Baltics is basically a massive anarchy, but it is basically a war to control. Currently, the Lithuanians are leading. So in the beginning, the Latvians were leading this Baltic Federation. Then the Lithuanians couped the government, took it over, which made the Estonians unhappy. They declared independence. They got invaded by Russia and Lithuania. Then Lithuania took the rest of it, and then Estonia breaks up again, and during the Swedish War. And now, due to this, Russia is now invading in Estonia to get more control over the Gulf of Finland. So they immediately take Tallinn up into the coast, and they start pushing. And to make sure the Lithuanians are happy, they promised the Lithuanians this little strip of land that they have been claiming for a long while, that used to be a part of Latvia, like that. So they have claims on that. So the Russians give it to them, and then the Russians continue pushing. So yeah. So the Russians keep on assaulting the Estonians before getting this encirclement in the north. It's because the Estonians were trying to do a counteroffensive to recapture Tallinn before the Russians eventually successfully capture it and then hold power. And now the Russians decide to set up their own little puppet government. Think of it more like a fiefdom. Yeah. If you wonder what a fiefdom is, it's basically like this little area where nobles control the area, not the king himself. But the nobles give the king royalty, so technically the king still owns it and puppets them. So Russia uses the power of feudalism to create this little puppet regime over and in Estonia, like this. It's their fief. So technically they control it, and they can use their puppet for in future wars. But it's technically its own independent nation. So yeah. Oh wait, I forgot to erase the city-state's capital. So yeah. Yeah. Anyway, now time to go to Asia. Let's go check on the Senkaku region during the Senkaku age of Japan. Okay, so the south will start pushing up into the north area, and China will start moving in. But technically China is participating in the Senkaku region, just very little, just sending some supplies. Okay, so yeah. And then they capture here, and also Siberia is also in it because they took Korea, like that. So yeah. Anyway, the Koreans start pushing and then further into the north, guys. While over here, the people in Kyushu will start landing in the island of Mengoku. I believe this is its name, Kyo. Yeah, like that. So they start pushing in. Then at the Hokkaido country will attempt to try and push out the Siberian guys from their rightful territory. And they successfully get this small beachhead in Sakhalin Island, but end up getting quickly pushed out before these guys recapture this shared island, like that. So they have this tiny little bit from Russia. So yeah. Anyway, the Hokkaidoans will push the people of Hokkaido out of Hokkaido. So yeah. While these guys will start pushing into here. At this point, there will be two camps. The old empire, which spans mostly between here and here. I'll color it for you. So it looks something like this. And the new empire, which looks like something like this. This is the color of the new empire. They basically turn into these camps. And there's the independence fighters in Korea. So yeah. So yeah, the new guy. So basically, all these breakaway states in the south and also Hokkaido are part of the new guys area. And then, what the heck? What? No, something's wrong. What on earth? Yeah, something's very wrong. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. I found out what was wrong. My apologies. Okay. Turns out what was wrong was that I was using the wrong tool. It's a gradient tool. That was a gradient tool. So, yeah. Anyway. Pixel. Back to pixel. So, yeah. That's basically what happened. So anyway, the independence fighters are busy fighting between which system, between a republic and the monarchy. Currently, the republic in the south is beating up the monarchy, but Siberia realizes that this republic would be quite troublesome. So in order to make it so the monarchy has a similar one, because they don't want any special ideas, because Siberia is not a republic, but it's actually a monarchy. So they decide to give all of Korea, the newly gained territory in Korea, to these guys, britannia, to these guys. So for their alliance with Siberia, and they wanted them to also survive against the South Republicans. So they give all this land to Korea. I'll just set it to 10. So they give all of this land, including the very important city of Vladivostok, but to them it's not very important, as long as these guys can still win the war. So yeah, now the Republicans have just got a massive disadvantage, because now the monarchists have North Korea, and because of this, morale greatly drops, and they're able to push all over until here. This is actually historic, because the South Koreans during the Korean War actually were pushed extremely far back, and I believe they look something like this. And then eventually the North will win, and the capital will be in Seoul, right there. So yeah. So now the North independence fighters successfully gained independence from Japan. And yeah, I also forgot to mention I changed parts of Siberia, but I have not changed parts of Alaska yet. So yeah, I made everything much more shorter. So yeah, after this massive war, let's see trade routes. The trade route between here and the little spine, and it gets completely destroyed, as who would expect a massive war leads to massive chaos. So because of this, the whole spine of Japan, like right over here, that gave all this trade to Japan, is completely gone. It's completely gone because of the utter chaos of Japan, and now trade now favors in Siberia, but it's much more stable than the chaos of Japan. So yeah. So yeah. More power, and then back to countries. So yeah, as you could see, yeah, Japan's in so much chaos, and basically anarchy in the Civil War. Now, as you can see, Kamchatka and the Chuchik Peninsula will now be going to the war, right? And Siberia will join in on this. It's on the side of the Chuchik Peninsula, because Siberia wants to reunite the eastern territories. So once the war breaks out, the Siberians will quickly capture the capital of Kamchatka and start pushing up the very small land border of Asia that they have, like that. And the Chuchik Peninsula guys will land in the Kamchatka Peninsula via the Aleutian Islands, and they'll also make a massive offensive down Kamchatka, like that. So yeah, this is a massive war going on, like that. And China also takes advantage of this to take. Whoa, that's a big China! Oh my gosh! I don't want China to absorb all of Russia. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I didn't mean that. I just wanted China to take Taiwan. Okay, or Chinese Taipei for all the communist Chinese there. Okay, so yeah. Okay. Anyway, so now the new guys all unite under the flag of this blue group down here, along with Al-Qaeda, and because of this massive threat, all the imperialist nations also unite. So now it's a massive civil war between old feudalism ideas and new anarchist ideas, saying that like, hey, the leader is bad and we don't need guidance. Like, it's the same way of an angry teenager telling their mom that, hey, I am perfectly fine, I don't need your help, I am like a man, like that. So first things first, they'll quickly rush into Kyoto and successfully take it. No, not Kyoto, Tokyo, yes, Tokyo. And they also make a landing in the north. But because of this massive gap, it's their priority to avoid the volcanic mountains of Japan and push us to meet each other up. Now the new gen anarchists seeming successful because of that, but Siberia joins as imperialist Japan because the anarchy ideals seem also bad. And so they will start pushing into Hokkaido, and eventually, and once they successfully capture Sapporo, they are able to capture the rest of Hokkaido as they quickly surrender. And then the new gens don't want to fight anymore, right? So they agree that, hey, our border will be closed with you guys, and we will not allow anybody to go to your country, so therefore new ideas won't be spreading. And Siberia pretends that the old monarchist Japan is still there to prevent civil unrest, which is always civil unrest as over here. So yeah. After that, the monarchists give up all hope and then eventually surrender and they get captured. So now Japan is under the new anarchist flag. So yeah, the new anarchist flag. So yeah. After a while, due to the threat of Russia, they decided, how could we please Russia but also please our anarchist neighbors? So they try and do the least amount, which is a democracy. You may be wondering, why do they change to a democracy? Because no leader will lead for more than one. Because the max term is 1 year, and every time they'll get elected. They'll only be elected for 2 months. So therefore the leader is constantly changing. So it satisfies the anarchists and it also satisfies Russia, which is a leadership, not anarchy. So yeah. Anyway, after this massive push and this massive assault against these guys, the Kamchatka people surrender. And let me show you the borders. I focused so long on Japan. Sorry. I will just do this myself. So once again, I've got to reverse everything. So yeah, and pow. So yeah. Anyway, in the peace deal, the Siberians will successfully get almost most of South Kamchatka, right over here, right there. Yeah, right over. Yeah, everything seems right. Okay, nice. So the Siberians will successfully get all of Kamchatka, and the Chukchi Peninsula. The guys will get the best. So yeah. Now let's go to the breakaway Alaskan state. The Alaskan state, right, goes through lots of division. There's someone to join Siberia or back, someone to join the Chukchi Peninsula, and someone to dominate the independence. So what ends up happening is that massive swaths of Alaska end up being like lost as to native people with their own ideas. So they still know about this area, but they no longer claim it as the native people do. Like that. How to put this? Okay. So there is people already living here, but due to the anarchy, even since the native people have been kicked out of this land, they move like right over here. Now they can retake their land, so they're taking advantage of it and reselling the land and destroying the flags that were there. So now the Alaskans no longer have this area, but they still know about it. That's the thing, they still know about it. So yeah, the Alaskans have been greatly weakened now, losing a good chunk of their land. Now back to Mesopotamia. Now after India sees this massive threat, they agreed to team up with the purple team. Okay? But before that, we're going to cover a quick civil war in this Caspian one right over here. 1 second, I need to set its capital. You know what? I'll set its capital to Sevastopol instead of the middle of the desert. So yeah. Because of this massive Iranian conquest, and the fact that there's this very thin divide between this area, a new rebel group will be forming. I'll color them purple. The purple guys will start voting from the green guys, as they don't want to be under like this area, under like green team occupation. I'll cut this short for you guys. After a long while of back and forth, these guys will eventually beat these guys and end up winning the war and gaining their independence, and their capital is going to be right over right here. Well, no, I went yellow. Right over here. So yeah. After Blue India's support. So yeah. Now after a while, Blue India decides to attack the red team, and the red team is already hyper aggressive. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Time to quickly do something. So the alliance, the first ever alliance in all of country series, is going to be formed with India, and also the purple team, and also the good ally of Romania, as their goal is to recapture Bucharest over there. Oh wait, that's our country. Sorry. Now time to go to alliance. 4 pow, 4 pow, and 4 pow. There you go. So yeah, they're all allies now. So anyway, the red team will start pushing in, and they'll quickly capture most of South India, but get stopped because of the Indian desert, like that, because there is a desert in India. It stops at, I believe, New Delhi, like that area. So yeah. The red team will quickly push into most. Why does this keep on happening? Wait, you know what? I'll just do something like this. That just annoys me. How to get rid of this one. Okay, so anyway, after long fighting, they successfully get this area. Like that, but not so quickly, because the purple team is able to make okay. So wait, I need to rewind because apparently there was all alliances. Sorry guys, I'll probably cut this out. Okay, Anyway, after that, it's massive front. These guys will quickly start pushing into here, and the Romanian people. Sorry, to clarify, the capital is right there. So the Romanian people will start helping the push, and after a while, the Romanians demand that the purple team, this purple team, would help fight. So I'll make this a lot more clear. You are going to be a dark blue color. So the dark blue Central Asian one will start fighting these guys, which strikes them into the war because these guys were allied with these guys. So yeah, so they were part of the trapezoid. The parallelogram alliance. The parallelogram alliance. So yeah, the parallelogram. Wait, there. So yeah, they're part of the parallelogram alliance. So because of the war, these guys will be dragged in. So they'll start pushing in and assisting India. Okay, it's fine. Just remember that this is the parallelogram alliance. Okay, the green team and the red team are part of the parallelogram alliance. Okay, I'm sorry this keeps on happening to me. Okay. So after this massive Indian counter-offensive, they successfully encircle the southern offensive down there, they will start drafting plans to capture the UAE and also Oman, and after they deal with this encirclement. So yeah. Now, after pressure from Romania, the purple team finally breaks and just accepts it. So yeah, and red team sees that everyone's starting to beat up this extremely weak gold team due to many weak leaders. The red team will join in. So yeah. And anyway, Romania will be able to recapture Bucharest, and after that they will quickly set the capital right into Bucharest, right there. So yeah, anyway, the red team will start by pushing in right over here and capture Pontus. If you're wondering, Pontus is basically a old country that used to exist here. I should show it in 3, 2, 1 for power. So yeah, that's the image of Pontus. So anyway, these guys will continue pushing until they capture the city of Istanbul, like that, and they also capture Crete and the island of Rhodes before pushing into Izmir, like that, and dominating the Aegean Sea. And the red team will eventually capture the city, which causes them to surrender to the red team. And then, as of the peace deal, the purple team will get slightly more. It will look something like this. Yeah, the borders will look something like this. And because of this, now the purple team has 2 fronts. So yeah. The purple team will quickly cross and start push into Italy, and their plan is to give up here and then try and hold the defensible Dardanelles Strait and Thrace. So because of it, the red team is quickly able to storm in and capture all of the western side, because Istanbul is on the eastern side. Okay, so yeah, Istanbul is on the western side, right over here, and not part of there. So yeah, it doesn't cross the Bosphorus. So yeah, mainly the purple team still controls all the islands, but their plan is to hold the Aegean Islands and also that. So yeah, after a quick landing of some troops disobeying, They eventually recapture the eastern area due to disobedient troops, but then they are forced back out by the commanders, and then eventually the red team captures all of Anatolia. So yeah, the old gold team is gone. So yeah. Anyway, these guys are able to hold and will continue pushing up and over into Italy, and eventually try and cross the strait between Sicily, and they can't because the red team navy keeps on harassing them. So yeah, instead they decide to try and take Sardinia and Corsica from the red team, which they successfully do, before landing in Algeria. So yeah, after conquesting this area, they quickly conquest Tunis, which allows them a key naval base to harass Sicily. Yeah, and eventually they will capture Sicily. So yeah, they'll start pushing and pushing and pushing. So after the capture of Tunisia, all over here, the blue team is able to do the big counteroffensive that they were planning to do and go all the way to Qatar as a great power. Okay, so yeah, they're a great power. So finally, they're getting the revenge on the red team, like that. But they firmly believe that they still can win, just like the Germans in World War I and World War II, actually, because the Germans did not surrender at all in World War II. It took like a bazillion years to actually get them to finally surrender. So yeah, there you go. Now the blue team, since they're so new, they aren't doing massive offensive, but at least they captured Tehran. They're also busy pushing into here, and the red team can't really help because the Caucasian mountains are stopping them. Until the red team marches through green territory and through the Caucasian mountains, just like how Hannibal crossed the Alps, and they will start invading in Romania. So yeah. And Hungary is being extremely peaceful because they know as soon as they attack Romania, the fiefdom right over here will immediately rebel, and then they will go back into chaos like that. So yeah, after this, the red team signs a peace treaty with the blue team and the darker blue team in Central Asia. So what ends up happening is the darker blue team gets all of the Caspian Sea, all land around the Caspian Sea, like that, and they change their capital to Baku now. Baku, like that, and they also get like a huge chunk of the green team, like almost all of it except for the parts near the Sea of Azov, like that. So yeah. So yeah, this is what they'll gain. And the blue team will mostly hold everything except for the areas around Qatar, which they will not get. This is what they're mainly getting. So yeah. Now, yeah. So now, after the dropping out of here, now it's just purple team and Romania. Now, after red team disrupts this massive key artery to going over here, the European powers step in, specifically Russia, and also Germany. Yeah, Germany. Let's see great powers. So yeah, Germany and Norway and Russia are all great powers. So anyway, Germany will start stepping the ground because they have great trade with China and a special pottery. So because of this, Germany will get involved and send some troops over to help Romania through here, like that. So they will start pushing back now, the red team, even though they did it because they are incredibly weak from the massive push to the Caucasian mountains. And now here's the problem: there's no one to supply, because Romania is well centered like that. While in Hannibal's case, during the conquest of Rome, the northern Roman tribes, the Norman Italian tribes, wanted to join Hannibal. But in this case, no one wants to join this time, because everyone wants to be a part of Romania and they don't like the occupation. So yeah. Anyway, these guys will continue pushing across and eventually get stumped at Libya because of the harsh desert. So now their plan is now, after securing what they could of North Africa, they plan to capture all of Anatolia and then beam into Mesopotamia and then cause the surrender of the Red Team. The Red Team's plan is to change the capital to Alexandria. And if they fail to recapture their capital, then they would surrender. So yeah, that's basically the gist of it. So now, after the landing in Izmir, they'll capture Rhodes and also Cyprus, and also make a landing into Syria and parts in the Levant, like that, in the Levant. So yeah. Anyway, they must successfully capture over here, and then eventually capture the eastern side of Istanbul, like that, and they'll start pushing up into Pontus, because their plan is to eventually cut off the people in Georgia, which they successfully do, but they are unknowing that they signed a peace treaty with the purple dudes, so therefore this area is completely abandoned, so they just quickly march in, like that. So since all of the main fighting is right over in here, yeah, like that. So the Red Team is managing to hold the ground in the mountainous areas, like that. But now, after this, these guys do something unexpected, because the generals realize that they need to do improv, because they know that, hey, they're holding us in the mountains in Syria, so therefore we need to go capture all these major cities in Egypt first. So they do, and push the first Sinai and capture the mountains in the Sinai, so therefore it makes it much more easier. And they cross and they capture all of Egypt. So now Red Team's plan is shattered, as now the Libyan troops are completely cut off, and now the Red Team cannot supply the Libyan guys anymore, because the Red Team would have to go something like that, which would be insane because they don't know about Africa yet, so they don't know any way like that to get around. And eventually, after this long while, Libya is finally connected, so therefore the Italian campaign and the Anatolian campaign is able to connect up all together, and after that they make a massive spearhead and capture the Red capital, like that. So the peace deal will include all of North Africa and Egypt and all of Anatolia from the Red Team, like that. This is what the world's now going to look, but the Red Team will still keep their capital. So yeah guys, I'm going to end it here. There is not really any major wars in Europe. I mainly focus on the unification of Japan and Mesopotamia basically being kicked back to square one. So yeah. Anyway, goodbye guys. Most of the wars were in Asia, sorry guys, but that's because I mainly want to focus on that. But I also brought the Kiwis now into the real world, and surprisingly, somehow Staliwi recaptured Wellington. I forgot to mention that, because that was on my plans list, to have Staliwi capture the southern areas from Len Erie, like that. So anyway, goodbye guys, peace out, whatever you say, as I say. Anyway, goodbye.